Hello, welcome back to Burn Bright. This is Krista. Today I'm going to talk about Defiance by C.J. Redwine. This book was published August 28th by Balzer and Bray. Within the walls of Balbadin, beneath the shadow of the city's brutal leader, Rachel Adams has a secret. While other girls sew dresses and obey their male protectors, Rachel knows how to survive in the wilderness and deftly wield a sword. When her father, Jared, fails to return from his courier mission and is declared dead, the commander assigns Rachel a new protector, her father's apprentice, Logan, the same boy that Rachel declared her love to 2 years earlier and who handed her back her heart. Left with nothing but a fierce belief in her father's survival, Rachel decides to escape and find him herself. But treason against the commander carries a heavy price, and what awaits her in the wasteland could destroy her. At 19, Logan McIntyre's many things: orphan, outcast, inventor. As apprentice to the city's top courier, Logan is focused on learning his trade so he can escape the tyranny of Balbadin. His plan never included being responsible for his mentor's impulsive daughter. Logan is determined to protect her, but when his escape plan goes wrong and Rachel pays the ultimate price, he realizes he has more at stake than disappointing Jared. As Rachel and Logan battle their way through the wasteland, stalked by a monster that can't be killed and an army of assassins out for blood, they discover romance, heartbreak, and a truth that will incite a war decades in the making. When the commander initially tells Rachel that her father is dead, that he won't be returning from his mission, she is very cynical about it. She does not believe him automatically. She thinks that there is some kind of a bigger plan going on here, and she's really determined to escape the walls of her town to go and find and rescue her father. Now, the village is surrounded by a wall because outside the wall in the forest surrounding their village is a cursed one, a big, huge, gigantic monster that, can kill all of them within seconds. It's a, fire-breathing, gigantic monster that's outside these walls. That, when you're outside in this village, it feels more like a suburban town that got enclosed because of this cursed one that had come about, and the people needed to protect themselves from the outside. But there are these groups of people that go out, the couriers, and Rachel's dad was one of them. He was probably the most famous one of his time, and he taught Rachel his skills as well as Logan. Logan and Rachel are very, they wield swords, and they fight, and they, they have these action scenes and training scenes on getting ready to take on, to go outside and take on this journey of trying to find Rachel's father. So there is some technology and some gadgets that are used. Logan plays around a lot with wiring and putting these gadgets together to help protect them and to locate each other for getting ready for their excursion outside of the village. But they don't have the modernized technology of their weaponry. They're still fighting with swords and knives and these kinds of things. So it's a mixture of different elements. Eventually you start to get used to the wording and the world, and you kind of just get drawn into it. And I ended up really loving the story, and giving it 5 stars because of the just pure difference of the whole world building in the story. Really drew me in. At first I was hesitant. I was trying to figure out what kind of world this was, if it was more current day because of the technology, or if we were in the past because of the swords. I guess I couldn't get my mind wrapped around the fact that they didn't have more modern technology to fight the beast, but yet they had the modern, the technology to make these gadgets. And so I had a little bit of a hard time wrapping my mind around that concept. But it does help build upon the fact that you have to rely on old school skills to do the fighting, and you need to build up your endurance and the fighting skills, and along with the sword. And then it really takes a lot of mental stability as well as physical adapting to to be able to fight in that situation, that sometimes you can't just pick up a laser or a gun and shoot it and be gone. But once I finally got my mind wrapped around this kind of world that she was building, I just got sucked right in. When it came to Logan and Rachel and their dealings with each other, you could tell that they were both stuck in a situation that they weren't quite happy with, but they cared enough about each other and what happened to each other and about their town to try to improve and do something better for each other, that it was worth that time and effort and turmoil to work on a bigger plan. I mean, they got along with each other, but they each had their own separate things that they wanted to accomplish. And, they could either use each other to help each other or, or not, and work on your own. So Logan and Rachel's relationship really isn't, this insta-love or romantic really at all. It's just more of a companionship, and they need each other to rely on each other to get out of the situation. But it's not only for them. They are out for the greater good of the village, and this horrible commander that runs the place, he's just awful, awful, awful man. I mean, it broke my heart, some of the things that he did to torture Rachel for what he needed. Rachel's father, who was lost out in the wilderness that she has to go and find, had possession of something that the commander wanted greatly. And so the commander uses Rachel and her family to get what he needs, and he is just your heart will break with some of the things that he does to get Rachel to do what he needs her to do. She'll tear at your heartstrings when it comes to the things that the commander does to Logan and Rachel, and they come out as really strong. That's the name of the book, Defiant Characters. They have to fight back, and when Rachel does get out into the wilderness to try to find her father, there's a lot of things out there. There's this cursed one, there's all kinds of other dangers, and traveling through the forest alone comes with its own trials, but her father and Logan have trained her well on trying to battle these things that she needs to go through. It was a great high fantasy novel. I had that kind of just over-looming feeling of dread hanging over the novel, that you weren't sure what was exactly going to happen. Great anticipation building to try to see what was going to come out of her finally getting beyond the walls to go on her journey, and what would come of it. And this, looming monster, the cursed one, just kind of always on the edge of the scene, like if he would make an appearance or not. And Rachel's being guided by one of the commander's men as well. So she's not really in the greatest of company. But some of the other people and things that she finds out in the forest and the things that she has to go through, you do root for this character, and you really want to see her destroy this commander for all of these evil things that he's done to her and her family and the town. The book is told from alternating perspectives of Logan and Rachel, and you really do get two complete different stories with them. It's a very well-paced book, and the whole world building was something different that I have not seen. I enjoyed kind of getting put into a whole new situation that I hadn't read about before, and it was all new to me, and it gave me just a different feeling. It's definitely worth the read if you're looking for something different that is going to get you thinking. A great fantasy, just goes back to the old school idea of villain. He really is a villain. And I guess that's all I have to say about this book today. So, thanks for stopping by. Bye.